Genesis chapter 41. Pharaoh's Nightmares. After Pharaoh's chief cupbearer was released from prison, it seemed as if the whole world had forgotten about Joseph. He looked around at the other prisoners. Many of them were old and gray. They had wasted away in the deep darkness and the loneliness of that prison. Far away in the land of Canaan, Jacob, his father, mourned his dead son. He had no idea that Joseph was still alive and was enduring a living death in an Egyptian prison. Even after all that time, the loss of his precious son was still painfully fresh in his mind. He would wander in the fields, sobbing with grief, even at the mention of his son's name. As for Judah and the other brothers, they kept silent because of their terrible guilt. They had sold their brother into slavery without caring if he lived or if he died. The brothers were in a different kind of prison, the prison of regret and of sorrow, which they had brought upon themselves. There was no escape from their crime, which haunted them every day. But God had not forgotten about Joseph. After 2 years, it so happened that Pharaoh himself had a dream, and God used that dream to change everything. In Pharaoh's dream, he was standing by the river Nile, where he saw 7 fat and healthy cows grazing in the lush green grass. Suddenly, 7 horribly thin and wretched-looking cows came staggering out of the water. They went up to the fat cows, and they ate them. When Pharaoh woke up, he was upset. It was a strange and a menacing nightmare. What could it mean? He tossed and turned in his bed throughout the night, and when he did fall asleep, he dreamed again. This time he saw 7 ears of corn, full and ripe, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 other ears of corn, thin and scorched by the east wind, sprang up. The thin ears leaned towards the healthy ears and swallowed them up. Pharaoh woke up very upset this time. He knew that there was some meaning to these nightmares, some secret message, perhaps from the gods of Egypt. But who could tell him the meaning? So he sent for all of his magicians and his wise men and his advisors, every official who he thought could help him.
Tell me the meaning of my dreams,
he demanded, but no one could help him.
Tell me! One of you must know,
he said. But there was not a single man in the court who could offer an explanation. Pharaoh paced around his marble palace. He was furious and a little afraid.
Ah! There must be someone,
he shouted. And that was when the chief cupbearer remembered Joseph. In an instant, the memory of the Hebrew slave flashed into his mind, and the cupbearer gasped.
My lord, I know a man who can interpret dreams. He's in your prison. A slave. I've done him wrong, my lord.
The cupbearer hesitated in shame at the memory of his broken promise.
I said I would speak of him to you.
Then speak.
The chief baker and I both had dreams in prison. We told the young slave about the dreams, and then he gave us the interpretation. Every single word he said came true.
Then fetch me this dream teller.